Welcome to our lesson for today. We want to focus on electricity in physics. So, in physics, under electricity, we say that we have two types of electricity. One being static electricity, and the second one being current electricity. So, for our session today, we want to focus on current electricity. So, under current electricity, we mainly focus on what we are calling as the Ohm's law. That is what we focus on, what we call the Ohm's law. So the Ohm's law, what we want to know about the Ohm's law, the first thing we want to know the definition for the Ohm's law. First thing, the definition. Then the second thing, we are going to look at the formula for the Ohm's law. The second thing, the formula for the Ohm's law. And lastly, we want to define each component of the formula. So first things first. What does the Ohm's law state? So Ohm's law, this is a law, so it states something. So what does it state? So Ohm's law states that voltage is directly proportional to current, provided that other conditions such as temperature remains constant. So that is the Ohm's law. So Ohm's law states that voltage is directly proportional to current. Voltage is directly proportional to current. Voltage is directly proportional to current. You can continue to say, provided that other conditions such as temperature remains constant. So we have tackled one thing there, which was the definition for Ohm's law. In the second thing, we said that we want to look at the Ohm's law formula. So Ohm's law formula, it is the same as the definition. The definition, it said that voltage is directly proportional to current. So voltage is directly proportional to current, and we put resistance. So that is the Ohm's law formula. That is the Ohm's law formula. Voltage is equal to current times R. So you can memorize this and say VA. You can say VA. So VA, voltage is equal to current times resistor. So the last thing that we want to look at is we want to look at the meaning of each component, the definition of each component of the Ohm's law formula. So starting with V. So this V, it means voltage. The V stands for voltage. That's what the V stands for. So what is voltage? So voltage is the driving force of current. Voltage is the driving force of current. Driving force of what? Of current. That is the first component. V. V means voltage. Voltage, the definition, it is the driving force of current. Then we come to our second component, which is I. So this I, it means current. The I means what? Current. So current. What is current? So current is the rate of flow of charge. Current is the rate of flow of what? Of charge. Current is the rate of flow of charge. Then lastly, we want to look at R. So what is R? R is resistance. R is what? Resistance. So we're going to define resistance. What is resistance? Resistance is the opposition to flow of current. Resistance is the opposition to flow of what? Of current. Opposition to flow of what? Of current. Like that. Okay. So now another important thing that we want to look at the units for voltage, current and the resistance. We want to look at the units. So to start with, we are going to look at voltage. So this voltage, we have defined it to say voltage is the driving force of current. So that voltage, it is written in symbols as V. It is written as what? As V. Then the instrument that measures the voltage is known as the what? The voltmeter. It is known as the what? The voltmeter. So the first thing, the symbol, which is the capital letter V. The instrument that measures voltage, the voltmeter. And now we are going to look at the units. So the units, the SI units. The SI units for voltage, our T are volts. Our T are volts, which is a capital letter V. Then we move on to current. So current, we defined it to say current is the rate of flow of charge. So current, it is represented by capital letter I. It is represented by capital letter I. So when we see capital letter I, we know that that is current. It is measured using an instrument known as the ammeter. It is measured using an instrument known as what? An ammeter. Then the SI units. The SI units for current are what? Are amps. What? Amps, which is represented by capital letter A. Then finally, we are going to look at the last one, which is resistance. So resistance, we defined it to say it is the opposition to flow of current, which is represented by capital letter R, like that. Then the instrument, we have two instruments that measure resistance. The first one is the resistor. First one is the resistor, and the other one is known as the ohmmeter. The other one is known as the ohmmeter. So both of them measure what you are calling resistance. And then finally, we're looking at the SI units for resistance. So the SI units for resistance are ohms. What? Ohms. So it is written using, it is represented by an omega symbol, which is written like this, an omega symbol, like that. Some may say it looks like a ring, some may say it looks like a car, but should be like that. Okay, so now we want to answer our question that has been